Isn't she beautiful? Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I just wanted to pop in here quick and give you a little update on my amaryllis. So I planted these in a video about the middle of November, and it's now coming up on the middle of January. And as you can see, I'm getting some beautiful blooms. And I've already had some. If you recall from that video, I planted four amaryllis bulbs in this pot. And two of them were older bulbs that I've had for several years. And they had wound up outside a little bit long into the cold weather this autumn. So they actually haven't done anything. There's one over here and one over here. They haven't done anything. They're still fairly solid bulbs. Like, they're not causing any rot issues that I'm aware of in here. So I've just left them instead of disturbing the whole root zone. The other two were brand new this year that I had picked up just because I knew I had left some of my older ones out too long. So I picked up a couple of fresh ones. So these that are growing here are called Apple Blossom. And I just picked up a couple of boxes like this, just at the big box store. And I just took them out. I didn't use the pot and extras that were put in this box. I just wanted the bulb, but this is the cheapest way for me to get the bulb here. My garden center didn't have any left at the time, so that's what I used. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I've grown usually red amaryllis in the past, and they're really beautiful and perfect for the holidays. But I am absolutely in love with the tones, the pinks and the kind of creamy white of this Apple Blossom amaryllis. And I think this is what I'll be looking for when I pick up a few more. But I just wanted to show you how they're growing anyways for now, so you could see a little update on how it's doing. So this one over here, you can probably see it's sent up more flower spike than leaves, and that's pretty normal. The other one has a bit taller leaves on it, but not a lot. And this one here has pretty short leaves, but it's thrown up a pretty good flower spike, and it actually started to bloom, I think it was the 24th, 23rd of December, something like that. So I had blooms out of this for several weeks, and I actually was watering it every day to 2 days. It's in a nice warm room. It's getting plenty of bright light, but not direct sun. And when I watered it, I would also just give it a little bit of a turn like that, so that it was kind of getting even light around it. But I had to go away for a few days just this past weekend, and so it wasn't getting water over that, and it hasn't had water now for about 4 days. And I think these blooms are drying up sooner than they should have, just because of that. It's pretty dry in here. So I'm going to give it some water, and I just thought I'd show you how I water. It's not really rocket science or anything, but I just thought I'd give you a little look at that. So I have it in this nice big terracotta saucer, so there's lots of air exchange to the soil, and I have a really big saucer underneath it, and then I just fill the saucer, and the saucer actually has large kind of foot areas in the bottom that the water will immediately sink down and fill those up, and then I can top it up again, and it'll really enjoy that big drink I just gave it there. Now this pot is about 30 centimeters across, and the soil level is probably 6 centimeters, maybe 8 centimeters deep there. I don't have it filled right to the top of the pot, and then I just have pine cones sitting on top just to make it look just a little bit nicer. I had some kind of holiday kind of plant spike decoration things in here before. I probably have a photo I can throw in. So those were up for the holidays, but I've taken them out now when I put my holiday decorations away. And now it's just sitting here, and I think it still looks quite lovely just like this. Now that it's blooming away, you don't really need anything extra in there anyways. So I just thought I'd show you with these spent blooms, you can just take them right back. You can see where they join. There's the main bloom and then it joins up to the stem here. And you just cut it right back to there. And I'll do the same thing with this here. So you can see the bloom comes down and just joins to the stem there. Just cut it off. Now with that watering and cutting off those dried blooms, it might help this one to open up and carry on blooming, hopefully, if I'm lucky. This one I think has already started to dry out too much, but you know, you never know. It might open up now. And then I can just throw these that I cut off into the compost. But I really like how long these will bloom. And I mean, even just with the 2 blooms that I had on there, they lasted for a very long time. They don't all open at once, as you can see, like on this plant here. I'm trying to see. I can't tell, and I can't remember, but one of these I would say opened first. Out of this one pointing straight towards you, the one pointing straight away from you opened first. And they're just a little bit more open, a little bit wider. And then this was the next one, and it's still not quite fully open, but it's almost fully open. And then you have this one here that's just a little bit further behind, and it's coming. And that's one of the things I really like about Amaryllis, is that they give you such a long bloom time, and they're such beautiful blousy blooms, which when you live in a climate like mine where it's just wickedly cold, snowy and blowy outside, and there's not a whole lot of interest out there to look at without, you know, trying. To have this just sitting right in my living room just is really cheering. So I really enjoy these. I guess one last thing would be, once this is all, they're bloomed out, I'll just leave them. I'll cut the flower stalk back. So I'll cut this part here right back and just leave it, continue to give it just sparse water. And I won't water it quite as often. I'll probably go down to twice a week and then once a week. These big leaves will start to grow and get a lot larger and start storing energy for the next season. So you want to let those leaves grow. Just keep it in that nice bright spot. Like I said, moderate watering. You can give it a little bit of fertilizer if you want, just a nice all-around fertilizer, but you don't have to. And then once all risk of frost has passed, these can go outside and just spend the summer in a nice bright spot. Just don't forget to water them. That's usually I quite often kind of forget about them because they just will have these strappy leaves here. You just leave them out. The leaves might die back in the summer as it goes on, and they might not. Just kind of depends on what your season and conditions are like. And then before you start getting the cold, frosty nights, bring them inside. And you can take them out of the soil if you want, and just bring them in that way. You might bring in less pests that way. Let them dry out. Just let them store for a little while in a nice, cool but not freezing space. And then just plant them up again about a month before you want to see blooms on them. You don't have to take them out of the soil. You can leave them in that same soil. Just set them somewhere, let them basically dry out. And again, usually somewhere cool just to let them kind of have a rest. And then often, again, if you just start watering them again, put them in a brighter, warmer spot, they'll start to bloom in about a month. So that's just the really basic care for these plants. Now in warmer climates, and I'm not even sure what the zone is for Amaryllis, I would be guessing if I told you, but many, many zones ahead of mine. You can actually just plant these outside and leave them and grow them outside, and people have great success with them that way, and they will multiply that way for you. I've never had them multiply with forcing them to grow in the winter. But I've heard reports of many people having great success with multiplying their bulbs if they can keep them outside through the summer and just let them naturally bloom in the summer. So that's something to think about if you live somewhere warmer. So hopefully this answered your questions about Amaryllis bulbs. Give you a little update of how mine is doing. I just love it. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.